Welcome back to Duke Disrupt 2020's Tech Symposium. This is our final block. Thanks for all the audience staying with us and showing your interest in tech. I'm your moderator, Ellen, currently a second-year MBA student at Fuqua. In this final block, we'll have two more keynote speeches from Facebook, Instagram, and Google. To kick us off, we're honored to welcome two speakers from Facebook, Instagram, Justin Fink and Lauren Kohli. So Justin Fink is a product marketing manager at Facebook Reality Labs, focused on augmented reality. Justin is building and launching augmented reality commerce solutions, allowing consumers to virtually sample different products. Prior to his work in product marketing, Justin was a strategy and operation consultant at Deloitte. Justin graduated from Fuqua's daytime program in 2019. Well, Lauren Kohli is also a Fuqua grad class of 2018, and she recently joined Instagram as a business marketing manager, primarily focusing on marketing Instagram stories, Explore, and Reels to the business audience. Prior to Instagram, she had experience in integrated marketing at Hulu and brand management at Clorox. So without further ado, the stage is yours, Justin and Lauren.
Great, thank you. Can you hear me okay? I'm gonna share my screen.
Yeah, all good, Lauren.
Great. You good? You guys?
Yeah, perfect.
Sorry. Okay. Great. Well, hey, everybody. Oh my gosh, these videos were amazing to get us started. I am really nostalgic right now, missing Durham. I don't know if that was Station 9, but Station 9 looks different since 2018.
Much nicer.
Much nicer. So anyways, thanks so much for having us today. Welcome to the Facebook keynote, Facebook Disrupts. My name is Lauren Kohli, and I'm here presenting with my fellow Fuqua alum, Justin. So we'll start with some quick introductions, even though Alan did a great job at introducing both of us. And then we'll dive into 4 areas of disruption by Facebook. Next, we'll look at how Facebook values closely align with Fuqua values, and then we'll close it out with a brief note on career opportunities at Facebook. So Justin, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, for sure. So kind of as Alan touched on, my name is Justin Fink, and I just transitioned to working as a product marketing manager at Facebook Reality Labs, focusing on AR. So I've been at Facebook full-time for almost 1.5 years. Where I've been a product marketer covering business interfaces and then scaling Facebook's backend data sharing APIs. I graduated from Fuqua in 2019, Section 1, by the way. And while in school, I also was an MBA intern in product marketing at Facebook. And so kind of as Alan hinted at, prior to my time at Fuqua, I worked as a strategy and ops consultant at Deloitte, where I focused mainly on technology projects, really spanning both the public and private sectors, and then spent a large amount of time building its augmented reality business focused on smart glasses in the B2B space. But I'll hold off on more details on what I really focus on in more depth, and I'll pass it off to Lauren so she can introduce herself as well.
Great. So yeah, as I mentioned before, my name is Lauren Kohli, and I work on the Instagram business marketing team, focusing on marketing Instagram stories and Instagram Reels to the business audience. So I graduated Fuqua in 2018, and post Fuqua, I worked in CPG brand management at Clorox, and recently made the transition back into tech at Instagram in April. So I'm pretty new. So since I started fully remote at Instagram, I can definitely empathize with so many people probably here on this webinar who are maybe started Fuqua fully remote. So I'm kind of in the same position in a weird way, but what a year it's been. So even though I've been fully remote, I do feel like I've been able to make an impact in the first 6 months, particularly on one of Instagram's biggest product launches this year, Reels, which I'll talk to you about in just a little bit. So let's move on to the main topic of how Facebook is innovating and disrupting the industry. As a leader in social media, technology, and digital advertising, Facebook is constantly pushing the envelope on advancing its mission and giving people the power to build community and bring the world closer together. How Facebook does this is by constantly innovating, thinking about all of our customers, including users and businesses alike, from small and medium businesses to our largest clients, all while we're continuing to advance our mission and their specific needs. So 4 examples that we're going to highlight today include Instagram Reels, information centers, shops and e-commerce, and then AR and VR. So let's start with the product that I work on, Instagram Reels. We'll start with this quick video, and I don't know if the audio is gonna work. I don't know if I shared my screen right. Do you hear it? Probably not. Well, it's okay. You can see the visual of the video. It's just background music. So over 1 billion monthly active users come to Instagram to share and discover new interests. At Instagram, we're always listening to our community and building tools that help them connect and express themselves. And recently, we've seen an explosion of short form video on our platform and on just other social media platforms. But on Instagram specifically, 45% of videos posted to Instagram feed were short form content. So we brought together two of our most popular forms of expression on Instagram, music and discovery, to create this new short form video experience. Instagram Reels is this new experience that gives anyone, people, creators, and businesses the power to create entertaining short form videos and the stage to share them with Instagram's vibrant community. And Reels is really a big chapter, or a big part of the next chapter of Instagram. No other platform really brings together friends, interests, and entertainment like Instagram does. And we see Reels as a big part of the future of Instagram, the future of entertainment on Instagram. So now with Reels, Stories, Live, and IGTV, we're giving people more ways to create and enjoy video the way that they want. I think it's a really exciting product to work on as we shape the future of entertainment at Instagram. And given the product's so new, it just launched in the US in August, I've been working on educating the business community on how the product can fold into their existing content strategy on Instagram. And I'm also really actively involved in shaping like what the future vision of this product looks like, particularly for the business community. So it's a pretty exciting, innovative product to work on just as I've joined Instagram. Next, let's talk about information centers. With billions of people around the globe using Facebook's platforms to stay connected, Facebook has launched several information centers to ensure users of our platform have access to accurate information regarding a variety of important topics happening around the world. So the first information center I'd like to talk about is our COVID information center that we launched in March to provide a central place for people to provide or to get like the latest news and information, as well as resources and tips to stay healthy and support their community. Within a month after launching the COVID Information Center, we directed over 2 billion people to resources from the World Health Organization and other health authorities through this information center, as well as pop-ups on Facebook and Instagram, with over 350 million people linking or clicking to learn more. Another information center that we have is our voting information center. In June of this year, we announced that we're conducting the largest voting information drive or voting information like registration campaign in American history, with the goal of helping 4 million voters register to vote through Messenger, Instagram, and Facebook. As part of this campaign, we launched this voting information center on Facebook and Instagram, which serves as a one-stop shop to give people in the US the tools and information they need to make sure that their voice is heard. I'm personally really inspired by this work at Facebook and Facebook's ability to touch so many people around the world. And I think these are really great examples of how we use our platform to drive people to accurate information and to help make sure that they can both make their voices heard and stay safe during these really bizarre, challenging times. So I'll pass it off now to Justin to talk about shops and e-commerce.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks, Lauren. So really, I'll start as COVID began really impacting small and medium-sized businesses all over the world. Really, Facebook came to action to start to think about new ways to enable commerce on its platform and ultimately help these businesses continue to thrive and even survive. So really, in late August of this year, Facebook launched Shops, just making it really easy, ideally, to just create and craft their online digital storefront. So additionally, there are just customizable collections showing new products, as well as design features and new creative tools to bring a brand to life. And this is really, I would say, the biggest step we've taken yet to further enable commerce across Facebook's apps. The idea, which is really showcased on this slide here, is to really kind of have one seamless shopping experience across Facebook's family of apps, where you can make changes to your virtual shop in one, and then that goes live across all of our apps entirely. So kind of more, for example, customers today can message a business through WhatsApp, Messenger, or Instagram Direct, ask questions, get support, track deliveries, and really just much, much more. And in the future, customers will be able to view a business's shop and make purchases really right within a chat. So we kind of think about it internally as we're very much in the early stages of this journey, but we're incredibly excited to see how it can evolve moving forward. So, Lauren, can you move on to the next slide? Awesome, thank you. And so to move a little bit more into really where my wheelhouse is right now around augmented and virtual reality, we're really making dramatic impacts in the world of e-commerce, right? I think that's very much known. I think Facebook is constantly thinking about what's the next big thing. So in terms of evaluating the potential next computing platform, Facebook, I would say, has taken a much more proactive approach, as it hopes to very much serve as a pioneer in the world of virtual and augmented reality. So whether it's thinking more about how we collaborate across the distance, or whether it's creating a powerful sense of community, which is very much in our bread and butter, or even just like building a shared vision and shared context, Facebook is really very much thinking about moving beyond mobile phones and computers and kind of powering these experiences, as well as many, many others, using virtual and augmented reality. So from a VR perspective, Facebook, as I feel like many of you know, bought Oculus in roughly 2014 and has been working to build out new hardware, such as the Oculus Quest 2, which was launched globally, I believe, within the last few weeks. And then also recently launched, we call it the Horizon platform. Essentially, it's a social experience where you can explore, play, create, and just really grow virtual worlds. Kind of other people around the globe can also participate with you. So from an augmented reality perspective or AR perspective, this is, I would say, much more in its earlier stages of development. So Facebook is building out its broader AR platform. We call it Spark, which is for developers and creators to build new AR features. So some of these features could be filters that you can add in your field of view via a mobile device. Others are more around AR try-ons, which are essentially new products that you can virtually test out, like sunglasses or lipstick or so forth. And so really we think about the opportunities here are endless, and we're really focused on building out the broader platform. But also in addition, at the Facebook Connect conference, which happened roughly a month ago, the company launched what's called Project Aria, which is essentially new types of smart glasses, which you can see on the slide. And the idea here is that will be used specifically for research with the goal of ultimately launching consumer smart glasses just next year. And so there's a lot of excitement around the space. Honestly, one of the main reasons why I joined, and while I would say in Facebook believe this is the future, I think time will ultimately tell. And so I'll kind of move away from talking about the areas of disruption and move a little bit more to talking about our company culture and kind of how it fits very much with Fuqua's values. So you can move to the next slide. Awesome, thanks, Lauren. So Facebook, I would say, is very similar to Fuqua and holds, I would say, very true to its core values. So while Fuqua cares deeply about its 6 paired principles of authentic engagement, supportive ambition, collective diversity, among many others, I think Facebook also firmly believes in these core values and expects current employees and applicants to join the company and believing in these too, which are really highlighted on our screen here, are kind of our core 5. Kind of ranging from, say, being bold in their decision-making to always focusing on impact that one can provide, to really just being open to pushing and ideally making the world a better place, to kind of lastly just being transparent in meetings. And so like these core values are very much a pillar of Facebook's strong culture, and honestly why so many people want to join and also want to stay at the company. And so while we not only have our strong core company values, I would say the company, teams, your mentors, whether informal or formal, will push you to strive to be your best. And I think this is highlighted really well on the next slide. We can talk about that. So Snehi here details like always find what makes you pleasantly uncomfortable and challenged. And so this is not only her individual mentality, but it's also the belief of the company. The idea is to constantly push you to really be as uncomfortable and challenged as possible, because that's the way you learn and grow personally as well. So this push, I would say, is what really differentiates Facebook and makes the company truly stand out. And so next, I'll talk a little bit about, at a high level, just the different opportunities we have at Facebook that many of you hopefully are interested in. Awesome, thanks. And so Facebook has a variety of different opportunities spanning numerous areas, as you can see on the screen. And so some of our larger orgs, which are highlighted here, so whether it's Global Marketing Solutions Team, or we call it internally GMS, where you can work in product marketing, client solutions, partnerships, among many others. Global operations focuses more on building and scaling processes, where you can work in product ops, risk, process operations, again, amongst many others. Supply chain and technical is another, I would say, very core area that Facebook is very much expanding and focusing on. You can work in business or capacity planning, strategic sourcing, and just to kind of lastly, there are many, many, many other roles across Facebook, whether it's partnerships, strategy, finance, and others that are really all fantastic opportunities. So kind of with that said, I encourage you all to take a look and definitely apply. If we go on to the next slide, I'll talk a little about where they're located. So many of the different roles at the companies are really kind of spanning the globe, whether it's from Menlo Park in our headquarters where you can work, to New York, London, Dublin, Singapore. And honestly, the opportunities are expanding even more as not only applicants, but current employees are trying to figure out what remote working looks like in the near future. And part of that relates directly to expanding just the potential applicant pool, so we're not kind of pigeonholing people to move and potentially uproot their life to these locations. So ideally on that front, more to come, but I think there's a ton of opportunity, a ton of locations to work, which makes it quite exciting to have the opportunity and potentially come and work here. So just to kind of close it out a bit, if you want to switch to the last slide, it's more just some thanks. So I think Lauren and I just want to thank Michelle, Alan, John, the many other organizers for really helping put on this event, as we know it took a ton of coordination, as we saw on the back end, and just are very appreciative of your invite. Also want to thank Lauren for just being a great partner in crime in delivering this keynote. And then I'd say that we just want to thank the attendees for their time. I know it's troublesome, you're working from home, you're working from across the globe, whomever you are. And just want to put our thanks out there. So really just looking forward to answering some of your questions, as I think we have some time to open up for Q&A. So I don't know if Alan, you want to conduct and lead that Q&A, whatever works best.
Yeah, thank you, Lauren and Justin, for your sharing. We're expecting more questions to fill in our Q&A section, but I have one question from the audience that it will be, this kind of will be like a broad question, but it will be interesting to hear from your view on Facebook's strategy and what could we expect in the next 3 years in VR space.
Having just taken another training actually this morning, I think some of that is confidential, so I can't speak on it. A lot of the core components are expanding not only Oculus's current stronghold in the market, so right now it's become more a mainstay in the gaming space, but the idea is how do we more incorporate our family of apps into a lot of the functionality that Oculus does provide today. So with the Oculus Quest 2 that was just launched, there are a lot of questions that are really kind of swirling around how do we expand that existing functionality, not only the hardware, but very much the software side. And so I think in the few years to come, that's very much top of mind for all employees in the reality lab space.
Right. Is there any other things, Lauren, you wanted to add? Or?
Nope. Justin is definitely the expert in that space, so he knows much more than I do.
Right. There's another question coming in. So I'm not sure if you have seen any like recent social dilemma. Are you talking
For the
about
Netflix?
Yeah, are you talking
Yeah,
within Facebook?
I mean, I've personally seen it. I think it was definitely an interesting, thought-provoking documentary. I would say that I've heard even Mark Zuckerberg, like, I think comment on, or I think our leadership has commented on it probably publicly. So I would like look to that, but I think there are things that were definitely dramatized. But I absolutely personally like think that the work that we're doing is really inspiring and connecting the world. So I'm still totally bought into Facebook's mission and providing a great experience for people all over the world. Justin, I don't know if you have anything else to add.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I think one other place to look, a lot of Facebook leaders have provided commentary, whether it was our comms team or leaders. So feel free to go and check out their response more on behalf of the company, but harken a lot of similar thoughts to Lauren.
That's great. So another question coming in is that what is Facebook's aspiration for social impact? So this audience has been involved and or even concerning about free basics. That he or she thinks this has been doing well. Anything new coming up that you might know of?
I can touch on a couple things, Lauren, unless you want to take it.
No, you can start.
Okay. So I think in terms of how the company has been thinking about it, I'd say it's in a few broader buckets. So charitable giving is very much always at kind of the main stake in social impact at the company. So whether it is giving nonprofits the ability to advertise or raise money on the platform, or just giving a lot of specific tools towards nonprofits as well. I think there's a lot around charitable giving that the company has done in the past and is still working on. The second key component I would say is just around crisis response. So that is very much top of mind right now. With COVID, with the hurricanes that are hitting the US, there's a lot of whether there are specific tools that we're building out on that behalf, or whether it's just enabling people and giving them a voice to speak around they're okay in these times of trouble. So I think it's another core component. And lastly is just around health. So I think that obviously relates very closely to COVID, whether it's providing specific information. Misinformation is always very much top of mind for the company, but health is going to become, and whether it's a partnership with the WHO or the CDC or the NIH, those things are very much important as kind of we move on. But I think those are kind of like the bigger three areas around social impact that we're looking to push on.
Yeah, I would add that there's just a really big focus on supporting small businesses right now across the company, and also supporting the Black community. There's so many initiatives, both product and monetary initiatives to help invest in these people, businesses. Over $1 billion, we're committed to spend, like in my organization, over $1 billion with diverse suppliers next year. And it's really great to see that Facebook is kind of putting their money where their mouth is.
Yeah, thanks for answering that. So I think we have more question coming in. I think this is for specifically for Lauren. How do you see early stage startups using Reels to gain access to new customers?
Well, I think Reels is a really great place for discovery. It's unlike when you, in your personal account or your business account, sharing video content to your feed or to stories that really is only discovered by the people that follow you. Reels is a global stage that you can be discovered on. So I think I would look at Reels as the opportunity for your content to be discovered by a more global audience. And I think have fun with Reels. Reels is like an entertaining platform. It's meant for like performative, funny, inspiring, shocking content that is like 15 to 30 seconds in length. So I would say just like start playing around with it and see like what your audience is interested in. I'm not sure like what the startup that you're speaking about or you're asking about like does, but if there's like product tutorials or, just finding an innovative spin on like how to answer common questions that you get about your service, I think Reels is a great place to experiment with that kind of content.
I see, you got it. Yeah, I think this is very informative. Thank you, Justin and Lauren. We're about time. And yeah, thanks a lot for your sharing. We're definitely look forward to more initiatives, more creative solutions that Facebook and Instagram can provide to us.
Great.
As we're all your target users. So we're definitely looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
Well,
and
thanks for your time.
one last quick call out. I know come November, I don't know if Chidi highlighted this in a previous panel discussion, but we are going to be having our virtual Facebook Tech Trek event. So if people are interested, especially first years and internship opportunities, definitely come and check it out. A lot of the same types of faces will be there to answer questions virtually, and looking forward to that. But be on the lookout for that invite moving forward, as I know we're coordinating with the school.
Mm-hmm. And great job on the production of this event. This is really high quality. I was like in the waiting and I was like, oh my gosh, these videos, this is great. So kudos to the Tech Club. All right, we'll see you later.
See you guys. Bye.